Okay, we are live. Week 6 recap. Week 7 predictions. Back here with the esteemed football show that we probably should come up with a name for. Nonetheless, no name. Okay, let's dive right into this past week. So, coming off week 6, overall thoughts. Wasn't able to watch much football, but pretty good week for the favorites. A terrible week for Vegas. I heard I guess the Bills did win, that they were going to be in trouble. And they are in trouble because a lot of favorites won. The public likes to bet favorites, so keep that in mind for this week. Coming off of last week, previous week's record, Cam 10-4, leader in the clubhouse. I think the first week that I haven't won the picks. I was at 9-5, one less win. Michael 8-6, a respectable record. I think the first time we've all gone positive on the picks. So overall, this brings Michael to 30-29-1 overall. Cam 35-24-1, and my record on the year is 55-35-2. So before we get into each of the specific games, anything you guys wanted to say overall? I'm gonna put in the chat to leave comments.
Did you guys want to lead off with the fact that you didn't watch any of the games this past week?
All right, yeah, I'd like to hear Michael's excuse in this because I had a valid excuse. I watched some of them.
I watched Monday Night Football on Sunday.
Monday night.
A busy day. It's in Black Island. Mark ran a half marathon, so I was at that.
Hype.
And then, yeah.
Wow.
How did you do in half marathon?
Yeah, fair.
He did it in 1 hour and 52 minutes. And he was trying for under 2 hours.
Mark. Shout out Mark Halloran on the Dubcast.
Yeah. He made some of these picks I'm about to give today. 2 of the parlays are his.
Okay.
Oh, God. Mark's making
Collusion.
picks. All right, first comment on the board. Giants, Eagles, your take. Well, we're not talking about that game yet, but
yeah, what the
come on.
Why are we
we'll circle back to
all
this.
Over?
All right. Starting off week 6 recap. First game on the board, Thursday Night Football, 49ers 36, Seahawks 24. This was one of the only games I was able to watch. My excuse, I was on a bachelor party in Stowe, Vermont. For someone who doesn't really like to watch football that much, so wasn't able to catch a lot of the games. I was watching this game though.
Sounds like a lame-ass bachelor party.
Hey, that wasn't my bachelor party. It was a good time though. Shout out, you know who you are. Okay, first game. 49ers Seahawks. I thought the Seahawks would come back with a vengeance. Underdog, embarrassing loss to the Giants last week. They came out flat. 49ers win this game pretty easily. Fucking Kittle diving into the stands every 2 seconds with his annoying ass wife and receiver annoyed the hell out of me. Fuck
Dude, I
that.
thought that was hype.
No, you didn't.
What do you mean? There's a nice little Miss Rhode Island in there, Miss Universe. Come on, show a little love for the hometown.
No, bro. If you watch Receiver, you know they're annoying as fuck.
I did watch Receiver. That was my favorite part of the show.
You're capping. You have to be capping. Besides that, though, I was pretty surprised. 49ers are back to form, look resilient, good for them. Seahawks, I'm starting to lose a lot of hope in them. And I think that the teams they beat up on are not really great, and I don't think they're going to be good moving forward. Anything from you guys on this, or Cam on this one?
Yeah, I mean, it was an entertaining. I mean, 49ers kind of took a nice lead to start off the game, and then the Seahawks made it relatively competitive in the back half. But obviously, the 49ers just pull away late. I thought the Seahawks would make it a closer game based off my pick, but I think this is kind of a get-right spot for San Fran, even though I'm not extremely confident in them being the same team that they were last year or the year before. I definitely think that's somewhat of a momentum boost going on the road and beating a divisional rival. Let's see what both teams do moving forward. I think this kind of leads how we mentioned how this would be a good bounce back spot for the Seahawks coming off an embarrassing loss to the Giants. I'm kind of thinking the same thing here with the 49ers, but we'll get into that in the next segment.
Okay, for the first time ever, we have breaking news in the podcast. One of the members of One Direction has just passed away. Liam Payne has sadly passed away at the age of 31.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, R.I.P.
R.I.P. Hey, yo.
Don't fucking laugh. All right.
No, he just said R.I.P. at the same time.
Next game, London.
He was the worst one out of all of them, though. Let's be real.
We're going
We're
straight.
never
to
we're never doing live channel breaking news again.
Kind of bad breaking news.
Sunday, early Sunday, the stupid ass London game, Bears Jags. Jags, one of the worst teams in football. I was able to watch 2 drives of this game. Bears didn't look good. Jags didn't look good either, but the Bears ended up slugging. Cam, take it away.
Yeah, no, I watched this game with a couple of Irish coffees. I was very confident in the Jags. I thought this was kind of a home game for them being in London, but the Bears just beat up on another team that they should beat. Jags are definitely losing my confidence. I don't know why. I thought that they would be good with Trevor Lawrence, and just their offense overall has just not looked what it was expected to be from the beginning of the season. So I also live bet them like at least 5 times, which was not fun. But
Didn't you say you went up 800?
I did, yeah. I won 800 I won 600 on NCAA on Saturday, and then a couple of extra 100 on Sunday. I lost like probably 150 on this game. So not great. Betting on the Jags, probably advise against it.
Okay.
Caleb 2 games in a row though.
Caleb, my rookie of the year bet. Watch out. Keep an eye out for that.
Okay.
He's like plus 160 now, I think.
Actually, that's hype. I think that's what he was to open. Moving on to the 1 p.m. slate. Ravens, Commanders. This was a backbreaker for us Commanders plus 6.5 backers. I thought they would be able to get closer, but Ravens ultimately went out. Did not watch a single play from this game. So Cam, back to you.
I mainly watched the first half just because there were so many. I was at a bar for the 1 o'clock, so I was trying to keep an eye on each game. But the Ravens kind of came out with the lead early. I know that. And it just seemed like Washington was playing catch up for the rest of the game. I know they kept it close for the first quarter, maybe going into the second. Definitely settled down, I think, the Washington hype, even though I am a Skins fan. For the majority of the games I've picked them. But I didn't really think that Jaden could compete with Lamar at this stage, especially with the supporting cast that he has as opposed to Lamar. I think it was also good for the Ravens to make sure that they got not like a sketchy like 2 to 3 point win against a team that they should probably be beating by at least 7. So I think it's good for both teams, giving confidence moving forward, especially as a game where I like both the Ravens and the Skins going into the next week.
Yeah, I didn't think the Commanders would be able to win this game. I thought they might be able to cover, but Ravens seem like they're kind of getting their shit together. So that's something to keep an eye on moving forward. Next one, Packers, Cardinals. Packers 34, Cardinals 13. Packers, another team that's rounding into form. The Cardinals, it seems like we don't really know what we're going to get on a week-to-week basis. Your takeaways from this one?
Mike, did you catch any of this or
No?
Okay.
I'm just talking to you at this point.
Okay, yeah, we can just keep bouncing off. I mean, I've kind of said it from week 1, or at least, week 2 or 3 we started joining, but I've never been a Cardinals fan. They're just way too inconsistent, even when Kyler was healthy. And it's kind of just a testament to that. I know it's a tough game on the road, especially this Packers team, which I think is a pretty good team. It just seemed like kind of a layup for me. Packers were one of my favorite. I placed them in a few parlays, money line, just because I thought they were so much better, especially at home. But, the Packers look good, dominated basically from the jump, and Arizona proves to be extremely inconsistent, and especially with Marvin Harrison. I'm not sure if he's expected to play or not. I know he got me 0 fantasy points. He got a concussion, so didn't love that, but curious to see what happens next week with them.
Yeah, this is at home too. Just a bad look. Cardinals home advantage, not great. Moving on to the 1 p.m. game that I did actually watch part of. The Texans dismantle the Patriots 41-21. I'll take this one to start. I watched every single Drake May throw on the recap video. He looked pretty good. I think working with what he's got, that terrible offensive line, I didn't see all the sacks. I did see the picks. Looks like the throws were a little errant. He's got to work on the mechanics a little bit. But there were throws that Mac Jones didn't make in 3 years and that Brissett is not even capable of making. I think him and Demario Douglas could be something to watch moving forward. I think they become a really good 1-2 punch. If we actually get like a real receiver that wasn't just randomly drafted in the 6th round and end up being good. I don't know. People are saying Polk is not good, but I didn't really see every single indiscrepancies of all the game or whatever. So I'm excited about Drake May. No, I didn't think we were going to ultimately win this game. I did say maybe we could win, but it just the game script wasn't working out. The Texans look legit. I got to give it to them. I thought CJ would have a sophomore slump, but I mean, they look legit. That this is a terrible first matchup for Drake, and he did okay. So, Cam, your thoughts?
Sorry, I'm sick. I thought I wasn't expecting much from this game, honestly. I was more just excited to see what Drake could do. Wasn't expecting him to really. I mean, I was happy with the 3 touchdown passes, even though we definitely had turnovers. And we've already talked about how the offensive line is the biggest weakness of this team and was going to be nerve-wracking to watch Drake play, but it's definitely way more entertaining than that grinded out for set football where we score a max of 17 points. I don't know if I didn't like it at first, but now, like, in hindsight, I don't know if it was a good thing to throw him against this Texans defense, who's one of the better defenses, I think, especially pass rush wise. And now it just seems like he's got his feet wet. Like, granted, I hope it doesn't get worse, but like that's one of the tougher defenses he's probably going to face for the rest of the season. So maybe he's able to kind of like welcome to the NFL moment, settle in, and then from there he's got a whole week of preparation going into London against the Jags. And I'm not, as we mentioned, not too confident in this Jags team. So kind of curious to see what will happen in London on Sunday morning. But yeah, I thought Drake looked pretty good overall.
I kind of liked it because now first of all, he had that stupid welcome to NFL drive moment against the Jets, but that doesn't really count. So this game,
agreed.
like, take all your hard hits, take it against a really good defense, get hit a lot, throw picks, do whatever. And now they have this really weak kind of run of games where they have a lot of winnable opponents, potentially, like games they can actually compete in. So I'm excited to see that. This London game will be interesting for sure. I'm looking forward to watching Drake May play football now. Hopefully he doesn't die behind that offensive line. Gerard Mayo promised changes, but we'll get to that when we talk about their game this week. So keeping it moving, we have Bucks Saints. Spencer Rattler's first game as well. Bucks just obliterate them. My boy Sean Tucker, shout out Cuse. If anyone's from Cuse is watching, Sean Tucker, GOAT. But my friend Rat told me that if I want to make money, bet the under in this game. And it was funny watching his live reaction in like the first quarter when this just went over. And that was a bad take. But once again, didn't watch much of this. So Cam, take the floor.
Yeah, I think I had the Bucks pretty handily on last week's pod. I think I mentioned that. I like this Bucks team, especially against their NFC South opponents. Even when Derek Carr's healthy, I would have taken the Bucks -3.5, and the fact that he wasn't definitely made it even more of a lock. I don't remember if that line was it confirmed that he was out when it was -3.5. I'm not sure if it jumped at all.
Yeah, it was.
But
Yeah,
it was.
Okay.
Between if it was going to be Jake Hanner or Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of thought that was a soft line for them. I think they've actually played well in the majority of the games, if not every game, and especially against this New Orleans team that hasn't really proved much to me. But yeah, I think the Bucks moving forward are kind of, especially against NFC South opponents, I just think there's no way you should be taking them, especially if it's under 5. But that's just me. I thought the Bucks looked pretty well, kind of dominated the entire game.
Okay, thank you. Coming in from our live audience, we have the Sean Tucker hashtag. Shout out Sean Tucker. Plea34's pleased with his performance. Amazing breakout game. Fuck Bucky Irvine. Took him to pick a touchdown. He might have actually even scored, but
He did score.
I'm done with touchdown scores. Fuck that shit. Also, from Connor J. Wow. Thank you for that. Moving on. Eagles, Browns. Eagles 20, Browns 16. Biggest spread on the board from last week. Browns keep it somewhat close. I don't know if they're ever really in danger of actually winning this game. Cam?
Yeah, no, I mean, 9's a lot with this Eagles team that hasn't really shown too much of a dominant performance overall on both sides. I took the Browns in this, ended up with a win with 9 points. Granted, I don't think I'll be taking the Browns too much with the spread moving forward, but I didn't really have much faith in this Eagles team, especially with Sirianni talking shit to his home crowd. Didn't really understand that. I mean, I get you want to be like, your thing is like a fiery head coach, but talking shit to your fans isn't a good look for yourself, the team, or the fan base itself. So, yeah.
I respect him bringing his kid to the press conference to just avoid getting
Yeah, that's a nice little cop-out.
A team that can't win by a lot of points, and having 9 points for this Eagles team is just dumb.
That's absurd. Yeah, agreed.
All right, comments are flooding in. Let's go quickly. Connor J says it was a positive wow. Yes, thank you for your positive wow. Thoughts on Sirianni talking shit to the fans? Cam just went over that. Michael, any spare thoughts on that?
No.
Okay, I didn't really I didn't see
You're
it
contributing
either.
a lot. This is gonna be a short one today, folks.
I just saw him bringing the kid to the post game. Bill Belichick is going to coach the Eagles next year if Jerry Jones decides to be a boob again. Comment from Jake Freeland: Browns is a worse player than he is a person. Watson.
That
Worse
might be
football
true.
player than he is person. I feel like that's pretty close. I think it's still person.
Did you see the PMT thing that they were like,
Yeah.
I could name 100 quarterbacks better than Deshaun Watson?
I think that'd be pretty. Like, is it active players? I don't know. I think you could get that pretty easily, actually.
Probably put like Eli out there.
Yeah, at this point, yeah. All right, moving forward, Colts Titans. I'm trying to speed run through this because not a lot of insight here. So Colts end up beating the Titans 2017. Fade the Titans train continues. Let's work. Colts. I was closely watching the box for this game because I did take Colts money line and did bet on the Colts as one of my focus 5. Richardson was the emergency third quarterback, so I guess he could have gone if he really needed to, but I guess he didn't need to that badly because Flacco plays. Levis, I'm not sure what happened. I didn't watch this game, so just glad to see the Colts win. Fuck the Titans after they screwed me on that Malik Willis bet 4 weeks ago, and they're the only team on my banned list.
I've kind of been on the train of anti-Titans from the jump. Same with the Cardinals. Even this Titans team's way worse. I think they might be the worst team in the league, behind the Browns. I think they lose to the Browns, honestly. But the Colts -1, even though they're on the road, seems like an absolute lock. I had one parlay I didn't mention on my Focus 5. I just placed it on my own on Sunday morning. It was the Colts, Bucks, and the Packers, which I mentioned in recap that I thought those were 3 of the all money line. I thought those were the 3 of the most reliable games to pick and the teams that I'm most confident in winning, especially against the competitions that they were facing. But yeah, not that the Colts were dominant by any means, but it's just that Titans team. I don't understand why you would ever bet with them, but that's my take.
Yep. Okay. More fan comments coming in from Irvin. He says, "Did I miss the breakdown for the matchup of the week, Panthers Falcons?" No, sir. We were about to get to that.
His last name's Ariola, by the way. Just
Ariola. Yeah, I think
Ariola.
I screwed that up. I screwed that up last time. I'm sorry.
No,
okay. Onto the 4 o'clock window. I was able to watch a little bit of red zone of this. Most of these games were over by then. So Chargers 23, Broncos 16. Vegas was telling us the story. As I mentioned, Chargers, you guys both picked the Broncos. So haha. Chargers -3 on the road against a hot Broncos team, but Jim Harbaugh is going to get it done. Herbert's going to get it done. This Broncos team's another one hard team to pick and bet against, or just bet for. So they're kind of like a gamble every week on what's going to be the case with them. So, what were your takeaways from this one?
I think I mentioned on last week's pod this was the biggest toss-up. Don't really know much about either team going into it. AFC West matchup, I just went with the home dog in that, so unfortunately didn't pan out, but kind of makes it seem like Harbaugh and the Chargers and Herbert can, or as Double X call him, Herbaugh. I think they're a team that can grind out close wins, pounding the ball, and then if Herbert needs to make a play, he can. I wouldn't necessarily be super comfortable in tight matchups with like the majority of the teams in the NFL, but as we've mentioned, the Broncos are one of the more inconsistent teams. We never really know what we're going to get week to week, but I'll take the L on that one. That was probably the toughest game to pick.
Yeah, you did say that before. More comments flooding in from Irvin. He says, "Cam, you just lost the viewer." Your response?
He's commenting, so I'm sure he's still watching. I'm also still working with him right now, and I know he's still watching. So that was Cap.
Next one, banned list: Titans, Bijan Robinson, Mizzou football, North Texas basketball. Back all of those. North Texas.
I've never bet on North Texas basketball. That's
absurd.
That's an absurd team to loop into the other 3.
They're in the American, all right. I've thrown a couple wagers on them, but I agree they suck.
It's fucking preseason college basketball.
All right, not this year, from last year. I'm not talking about. Obviously, we're not talking about preseason like scrimmages in the Bahamas. I agree with all that. That's a very good list, actually. I might need to copy that to my notes. Last one, Dobbins stud. Yes, it looks like he's having a very good renaissance year. I'm excited to see this Chargers team moving forward. Hope they make the playoffs.
Stay healthy.
Yeah, they deserve it. Next one, Steelers Raiders. First time the Steelers over hits. They just obliterate the Raiders. This Raiders team is one of the worst teams in the NFL now, trading away Devontae Adams. I think Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell are just the definition of mids. There's not really like they don't have an answer. They don't have a consistent through line. The Steelers are going to be switching quarterbacks as well. So I guess we'll talk about that when we get to them. But I don't really know how the Steelers even got to 32 points. That seems like a really bad Raiders defense. And yeah, Max Crosby might get traded. This Raiders team, I don't understand what Vegas likes so much about them. They seem to be close in every game. I guess it's, spreads are very close throughout the board, but I don't know. I'm not really seeing much with this Raiders team moving forward. I do like the Steelers defense. And if their offense can play like this, like they might be a legitimate contender.
Yeah, no, I think it was a combination of the Raiders offense not being good and the Steelers defense just giving the Steelers the ball a lot more, their offensive side. I can't imagine them scoring 30-plus points for the remainder of the season, especially with the two quarterback switches I mentioned we'll get into later, which I still don't understand. But we can go into a rant about that when the game comes. But, yeah, I had the Steelers in that. Don't have any faith in the Raiders, especially when the whole Devontae thing, even though he was hurt, knowing that he wasn't playing just made it seem like an absolute lock for the Steelers to win, and thankfully that paid off for me.
More comments coming in. Thoughts on Russ starting against the Jets this week. We will cover that when we get to that game. Stay tuned for the Week 7 predictions. Okay, moving forward from this game, the quote-unquote game of the week from our comment section, Falcons-Panthers. Falcons 38, Panthers 20. Panthers did seem to be somewhat in this. I remember on the late red zone slate, they were somewhat, close. Cam, were you boots on the ground in Charlotte, or did you not go to this one?
Absolutely not, but I know one person watching this / commenting was boots on the ground for an absolute embarrassing loss for the Panthers. Sure, he would love to comment on this game, but he also might not, seeing how – I mean, I don't know. They kind of put up a fight. I thought it was more of a divisional game in the first half, and then the Falcons kind of woke up and realized that they were playing the worst team in the NFL behind the Titans. So – like I said, this Panthers team wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole, but yeah, that was an easy lock for me. You could have put fucking 9 on that and would have taken it.
Yep. Okay, moving forward, Connor J sends this weird emoji, which is like a guy laughing or something. I don't know.
Thanks, Connor.
Chuba Hubbard is the running back 5 in fantasy. Crazy.
Yeah.
Is he actually?
Yeah, I picked him up after week 2, I think.
There you go.
What's his face? Jonathan Brooks coming back off IR, designated return this week, so be wary. Might be time to trade him. Fantasy analysis for the week. Okay, let's move forward. Lions, Cowboys. This was a weird one. Lions 47, Cowboys 9. The Cowboys coming off a somewhat strong win against the Steelers on Sunday Night Football. Now just at Jerry World get destroyed by the Lions. Aiden Hutchinson tore his leg. I don't know what happened here, or got his leg snapped. I don't know what happened in this game.
I didn't watch much of it. I was just upset that I had Gibbs and Montgomery had to go get 2, which really fucked over Gibbs. But I mean, yeah, I like this Lions team. Not a fan of the Cowboys. I don't know many people that are, unless you are like a bandwagon Cowboys fan. I wouldn't bet on the Cowboys in many games, but yeah, this Lions team is just easy to root for, especially against one of the most annoying teams to watch. So,
Did you listen to Jerry's thing on the radio after the game?
No, what'd he say?
He basically told he has like a weekly radio spot in Dallas, and he basically told the radio broadcast guy that he would fire him because he was asking him questions like, why didn't you sign these people and whatever, and you got smacked around in your home, what are you going to do about it? And he was like, you're terrible at your job, I'm going to fire you.
That's smart. Thank you for the Michael's providing a different perspective as opposed to the recap. I like it.
Yeah, we need more information about the drama and more than just
Jerry was a mean old man on Monday.
Well, yeah, when you get your fucking doors blown off at home, I mean, wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, more comments from the crowd. The peanut gallery is live tonight. RB5, no joke. I'm giving you more impressions. Thank you for that with the emojis. Lions-Vikings spread this week is super sus. Yes, we will cover that when we talk about that game.
Dude,
in the
these
week
guys
seven.
not know the pod? Like, what the fuck?
I know. Come on.
Yo, Dub. Yo. McGann. Nice. It was Jerry's B-Day. Michael, your response to that?
Jerry, Allie is a hater, first of all.
Yeah, Drew, get Allie out of the chat. Can we kick people from the chat?
Can we
I
kick
actually can
people
ban
out of
people,
the chat?
but I think the back and forth is good. So
All right.
your response to, she just said it was Jerry's birthday.
Yeah, it was.
How about that Ohio State loss, Allie?
Yo, don't
Ooh.
fucking.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding.
Yes.
I was at the fire at the bachelor party, and my head was in my fucking hands watching that. I was depressed.
Dude, nah,
That
that
was-
was hype. I had
that was
Oregon
so
won me
sad.
like 250 on that. That was so clutch. I had them from fucking kickoff.
All right, we have comments flooding in, so we got to move on. Jerry's birthday. Yes, it was Jerry's birthday. That's why he was extra upset. Acknowledge me. Acknowledged. McGiants. Yes, I like Malik Neighbors and Devin Singletary in fantasy this year. Question from Irvin. Do we like Montgomery or Gibbs more rest of season?
Both.
Can we get? We're gonna get into that into the week 5 segment, bro. Come on.
Week 5 was 2 weeks ago. This is week 7. We were going to be
Week 7 segment.
What's up,
Same fucking
McGann?
thing.
Not much. Just chilling, hosting a podcast. What about you? Guys, no.
Oh.
All right.
Wow. Bro.
Next, I'm done talking about Jerry's birthday. Next game.
Can you discuss how all this relates to Liam Payne from One Direction just passing away? Yes, we acknowledge his passing. Rest in peace, Liam. Fly high. One Direction, we love you. Believe this is a
That
duck.
guy stunk, low key. I thought he kind of brought the team down.
Tough OSU loss. Yes, my head was in my fucking hands. I just said that. McGann acknowledged me. Acknowledged. I was at an OSU bar in Chicago and I cried. I agree. R.I.P. Liam. Brother said week 5. Yeah, it's week 7, buddy. I would have cried too. I almost cried. Who are you voting for in 2024? We don't discuss politics on the channel.
Colin,
Where's Cam's wine? There it is. Wait, what? You're telling me I found out Liam
podcast is
Payne
also
died in the
sponsored by the
Dubcast?
Whole Foods name brand wine, 3 Wishes, $5 from your local Whole Foods.
You're telling me I found out Liam Payne died in the Dubcast YouTube channel. Yes, sorry, brother. Rest in peace, Liam. But guys,
Dude,
Liam,
I don't think I really like Liam. The more that we keep talking about him, I don't
look at
know.
this. Liam was literally dating a 17-year-old. So
Exactly,
maybe
bad guy.
maybe not the greatest guy. All right, couple games left. A couple games left. Let's dive into this one. Bengals Giants. I watched most of this game. Really boring game. We were mostly playing games watching this. Joe Burrow had that nice little 50-yard run. I don't know what the fuck the Giants defense was doing on that play, but Chase Brown gets in at the end. Tyrone Tracy looks solid as a backup for Devin Singletary, as a maybe future running back 1 for the Giants. Your takeaway from this game? There are Giants fans in the chat, so I will say tread carefully, but fuck them.
I mean, that's a tough spot for this to be one of the few games that you watched. I mean, both teams have been absolutely disgusting. Other than the Cincy Skins game, I had Cincy basically a lock. 3.5 was definitely not enough for this Giants team. I can't tell you anybody on their team other than Neighbors and Singletary. Maybe Hyatt, but I don't think Hyatt's done a single thing all season.
He didn't have a catch as of like 2 weeks
exactly.
ago.
So I don't know why. I get that they're the home team, given points. I always like the home dogs, but this Giants team kind of in that same mix as the Titans, Panthers, bottom of the tier league, probably going to be a top 5 pick going into next year's draft.
Okay. More comments coming in. Team Alexander, irrelevant. What? Yes, the news is true. Liam Payne has passed away at the age of 31. Yeah, I don't think anyone likes Liam respectfully, but rip. So no Trump, no comment. What's your stance on the economy and how would you fix it? I did take 2 econ classes and I have no idea what the fuck the economy even is, so I don't feel comfortable addressing that. He fell off a building. That's crazy. Wow, rest in peace. They are the Commanders. You can skip this game. Show some respect. I will not respect the Giants. Fuck the Giants. Last game, finally, Michael, your time to speak your truth. Bills 23, Jets 20. Bills came into this as -2.5. I believe the line even came down for the Jets. The Jets were looking at like +1. It was basically a pick 'em. what do we have to say after this game? Not a very great game to watch. I did record it, run it back through. It wasn't very pleasant. First of all, no one even texted me that Rodgers hit a Hail Mary, which I found crazy. It was just like casually Rodgers just hits a Hail Mary at halftime. But what were your overall takeaways from this game? We can talk about their big acquisition when we talk about their next week game. But your thoughts, 2-4 for the Jets. This was supposed to be the year.
I had them starting 3-4 in their first 7 games. So here comes a terrible take. Thank you, LA. I respect you and all of your. No, I don't. That's a lie. Jets lose this game because they couldn't kick and they couldn't score in the red zone. It was a little bit of a ref show. I think there was 23 accepted penalties in this game. It was horrible. Terrible watch. The last 5 minutes of the game took 45 minutes because it was just full of penalties. I don't think the Bills proved anything to me winning this game. Josh Allen was okay. And whatever that rookie running back, I forget what his name is.
Ray Davis.
He was big manning a lot of people, running over some kids. I called it a must-win for the Jets, and it really does not great that they lost the game, but it's not over. We'll talk about it some more in a little bit, but they have a couple winnable games coming up, and I think in the AFC, which is very weak, the last team in might have 9 wins, maybe 10 wins. So yeah. It's not a fun game to watch.
Yeah, going kind of off your AFC take, I think it's from the Jets fan perspective, I think this is a decent game. You can walk away with this and say that, hey, the AFC East is wide open. But I can also see the Bills' perspective where it's hey, we played the Jets on the road without one of our main options. Cook's been their best weapon if it's not Josh Allen, their best skill player. So not having him as their main focus on offense, definitely I could see them being, hey, we beat the Jets, who's probably the second best team in the division right now, on the road without him. But if I'm you, Mike, I would be pretty confident moving forward, especially with the acquisition of Devontae, which Dubs will get into later.
Their offense looked good. They had 200 receivers. They had 100-yard running back. Brees didn't score that one down the sideline, which really hurt them because they didn't score any points on that drive after a 50-yard run to the 4-yard line. Couldn't get any points, ended in a missed field goal. They had a touchdown run that was taken away by a hold. Garrett dropped the ball in the end zone. He got smacked around on it, but you probably should catch that ball. It sucks that they lost. 2-4 is not a great look, but yeah.
Yeah. Kind of teasing the next, I think we're going to recap it according to Dub, but one of my focus 5 was Allen touchdown, Bills money line, which hit. I kind of expected with Cook being out that Allen was almost a lock to score, especially in tight areas inside the 5. Thankfully, that ended up happening very early. And if Allen scores a touchdown, I feel extremely confident the Bills will end up winning that game. And then thankfully both occurred. So pass it over to the host.
Yep. Bills Jets over. This was the most sweaty over for no reason. It was 41, and then they didn't score for a quarter and a half, and the Bills had that field goal. Got it.
Three missed field goals.
That was so dumb, dude. I didn't know.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Happening.
2 doinks too.
Yeah.
From pretty close, I think.
Yeah, it was 34 and 35 yards.
I think the kickers were we're doing too well. We're gonna have to
and nerf the kickers today.
Yeah, I don't know.
NFL scripted.
All right. While that whole rant was going on, we got more comments. Let's go. Here comes a terrible take. We went over it. This will be fire. Not really a lot of passion. He's too hopeful, so maybe next time when they lose again. Jets have the easiest remaining schedule, I believe. Michael, can you confirm?
I'm not sure, but before last week, they were top 5 easiest schedule. So
nice.
Jets are done.
Well, I think that's a lie. Freeland. We played fantasy basketball together one time.
Steelers money line looking real good. We'll talk about that when we get to that game.
Russell Wilson No.
McGann, join our
Yeah.
fantasy basketball league. I'm good.
Are
McGann,
you?
if this is really a sports pod, why haven't I heard anything on the NBA, WNBA? It's
Yeah,
not.
it's the final stuff. Come on.
Who even won? The Liberty?
I don't know.
Who gives a
Thoughts
shit?
on Angel Reese saying she makes less than $8K a month? I don't believe that.
I also don't care.
Okay, week
Yeah.
7 time.
Reiterate that comment from Mike.
Week 7 time.
Whoa, we're not going over Focus 5? Or we
Dude, we
Focus
do
five?
that after
the
before the
thing?
Focus 5. Come on, it's all part of the script. We got the whole. Everything
Sorry.
is the same.
I
It's
didn't
a
get the script.
cycle.
I came right back from work.
Every
All
week.
right.
Come on.
So starting it out, we have the Denver Broncos heading to New Orleans. Saints without Derek Carr, Spencer Rattler most likely starting again, Olave out, Rashid Shaheed out. My pick for this game, I'll lead it off. I was on the Saints plus 2.5 at home. That felt pretty easy, but after hearing that both those wide receivers are out, I just don't see it. I'm gonna take the Broncos -3. The over/under's at 37, very low, so it's gonna be a very low-scoring game. I think the Broncos can win this game by just doing what they've done in the past couple of weeks, especially last week, home loss to the Chargers. I think they're going to be hungry, looking for another win. So my pick, I'm taking Bo Nix, who has a little bit more experience than Spencer Rattler. I wouldn't be surprised if Spencer plays well, though. I would think he did play well in that first game. So I'll pass to you, Michael, your pick for this game.
I'm with you. The Saints just gave up 51 points to the Bucks. I don't think they're going to do that again to this Broncos offense, but I don't see the Saints having anything without their top 2 weapons. It's going to be a huge Alvin Kamara game, but the Broncos' run defense is pretty good. So definitely should be a low-scoring game. I'm taking the Broncos.
Yeah, we don't have to wait too early for a team ride on this. I'm going Broncos. I would have taken the Broncos -2.5, even if I did know that Olave and Shaheed were out, but that just makes it even better. I don't know who the hell Rattler will throw to outside of Kamara, as Mikey already said, who may have a big game, especially receptions-wise. Something to look at if you're looking at prop bets, but definitely taking Denver -2.5 on the road.
Okay, all in agreement there. More comments from the streets flooding in. Wait, do you want to join our fantasy league? Basketball already said no. Skipped Cowan's fucked. I haven't skipped a single comment, so that's incorrect. Rumor has it the Liam Payne death wasn't an accident. The over 35.5.
I take credit for it.
Did we lose, Dub? We lost, Dub.
Oh, Dub. That's what you get for reading the comments, brother. Where's the producer at, Dub? Damn.
This is very sad. Should we just skip to Pats Jags?
I guess so. Mikey, you want to be the host on this?
Are we even live right now? What's going on?
Keep the show going. We got
All right,
it. Pats,
let's
Jags,
talk Pats Jags. Jags stayed in London this week, and they're going to get blown out again. I'm taking the Pats with 5.5 points. I mean, I don't think you could have asked for much more from Drake May in the first full week that he played, and I think he builds on it on this terrible Jaguars defense.
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of agree with you where you couldn't expect more out of Drake, especially against that Texans defense, which we talked about in the previous segment. I really like the Pats, even though it seems like a get-right game for the Jags 2 weeks in a row in London. I mean, definitely going biased. I pick the Pats for the spread every single week. I'm not going to stop. So I bet with my heart and not my head regarding them. Something to look at if you want the Pats to win, maybe a Drake rushing touchdown. He ran in for one in the preseason. He definitely has a little bit of legs. I don't think he gets enough credit for that. But I also this Jags team, as I mentioned, just doesn't give me enough confidence to bet them, especially with 5.5 to win. So going Pats in London. I'll be in Nashville for the game, so an 8:30 kickoff.
Yikes.
You know, I'll have probably 4 Irish coffees before the game, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll.
Beautiful. All right. All right. Titans Bills. Next game.
I got the same. Yeah, I got the same one.
Bills
We can just
-9.
get Dubs. Well, I thought we'd get Dubs takes whenever he joins back in.
Yeah,
Hopefully the host of the podcast can figure it out. But yeah, Mike, you got it.
Bills -9.5. I'm taking the Bills. I have bet with the Titans past 2 weeks against the well wishes of Cam and Dub. So I'm going against them this week. Bills didn't really prove a lot to me against the Jets on Monday night, but the Titans are a bad football team. Will Levis targeted Calvin Ridley 9 times, and he had 0 receptions. Not a great look. And, yeah, I'm taking the Bills -9.
Yeah, no, I had an 8.5, honestly, but even if you could put it at 13.5, honestly, I think the Bills kind of blow them out of the water, especially at home. As I mentioned, I'm probably never going to touch this Titans team unless it's probably a double-digit spread, and even that, I might take the other team depending upon who it is. Oh!
Look who decided to show up.
You're welcome to hold down the fort one time. We kind of ran it without you, but we'll get your take on the Pats Jags if you want to chime in. I know you're wearing the Brady jersey and the red undershirt.
Yeah, so who'd you guys pick? Sorry, internet
Both
went out.
Pats.
Verizon sucks.
Whoa.
It does, bro. They put in a new router and it cuts out every 15 minutes. I was working at home today and it just cuts out. Fuck Verizon, bro.
That's what you're working at home. Trixie probably pissed on the router. That's what it was.
Trixie is no longer with us. R.I.P.
Actually, R.I.P. to Trixie. Way more than Liam. Fuck Liam.
Okay, so you guys both take Patriots +5.5.
Yep.
Yeah, we already gave our rant too, so feel free to spoil
All right,
a
I'm on the same train. Patriots. Jags have not looked good. I don't think they weren't enough to get a 5.5 point spread. I think this should be like -3.5, -4.5. 5.5 feels egregious. The Jags are a dumpster fire, but so are the Patriots. Like, they need to start figuring things out soon. They have a new coach. Like, Mayo's job could be on the line after a year. Doug, any game he loses could potentially be it. So I don't know. I think the Pats can cover this spread. The Jags don't really impress me. I'm glad we're playing this game. I don't like that the Jags have already been out there in London pre this week, but hopefully they can, fuck around in the London clubs and be off their game. So I got Pats.
Would you rather them have been out there? Would you rather this be their first week in London, or do you like it that they stayed out there away from their fams, had to eat hotel food every day?
I mean, I don't think it really matters.
I thought you were going more the Drake May route playing last week. Like, I think last week's perfect for Drake May to start. Going into this week, going into London, still doesn't know really what a road game is like. In London, even though it is a road game, it's kind of a road game for both teams, especially after the Jags absolutely get annihilated, even though I said it was a home game for them. I think Drake feels a lot more comfortable and kind of just demonstrates who he is. I kind of mentioned, Dub, that I like a Drake May rushing touchdown this game, if you want to parlay that.
Yeah, you said that last week. When's it actually going to happen?
Watch. Fuck around, find out.
All right. A lot of comments that I was mid-addressing while the internet cut out, so let's get through them real quick. Diddy works even in prison. That's dead obvious.
Dude, I feel like Diddy and Liam were kind of tag teaming.
Well, we'll have a comment about that. I think that's what he was referencing to. The Sean Payton return. Yes, return game to New Orleans. Wow. This is when I left the stream. My great friends. Wow. Thank God. Pats suck ass. Finally he's gone. This is my fucking show, bitch. Should rename the channel to Mikey and Cam Pod. No, we're good. Colin texted me. That's true. 8 targets. Not sure what that's in reference to. A prediction
Falcon.
from
We talked about we kind of jumped to the Bills game too, but yeah.
Drake May over half interception -145 free money. That's not really good odds, so I don't agree with that.
Yeah, you can fuck off, Carl.
More like Drake gay.
Right.
Very nice wife and girlfriend. Let's not assume.
Wife and girlfriend. Good man.
Yeah.
Good man.
He's in the NFL now, buddy.
Yeah.
You guys went to the Bills game. Well, too bad. The next game, Seahawks at Falcons -3.
No, come on. Just give your take on the Bills Titans. We already wrapped ours up.
All right. Well,
we both picked Bills.
Yep, I agree. Titans are on the banned list. This is an egregious spread. I think the second worst spread besides Pats 49ers, but I don't trust the Titans to cover in Buffalo. I've been live, boots on the ground in Buffalo.
No, you just said Pats Niners, but it's okay. I mean,
No, I said this.
Who-
The spread. This is the second smallest or second biggest spread besides Pats at 49ers.
oh, sorry, you were talking about. Okay, sorry, I thought you were talking
Yeah.
about the week. My bad. That's on me. That's on me. That's on me.
I've been boosting the ground in Buffalo. It's a crazy place to play. I could see this being like a 35-3. Like questions start getting asked in Tennessee. Is Levis the guy? As it will as Mason Rudolph season? I think this could get ugly. Usually I say fade the points, but on this one I like the Bills to cover this pretty handily.
This could be a Mason Rudolph game.
I mean, if you just say that every week, like it probably will come through.
Last week, Will Levis threw for like 92 yards, and he threw the ball like 35 times. So, not a good look.
Yeah, not good. Next one, Seahawks, Falcons. I'll lead this one off. I got the Falcons -3. I'm losing faith rapidly in the Seahawks. I don't see it. I think that when they face superior competition, they fade a little bit. They were played somewhat close against the Lions and the 49ers, two of the top tier teams in the NFC. I think the Falcons are a tier below those teams, but when you give me 3 points, there's not really, as I mentioned before in my theories, there's not really a lot of ways to lose by 1 or 2 in the NFL. Maybe I'm just tweaking about that, but I don't think the Seahawks are going to come on the road into Atlanta, which I think Atlanta has a decent home advantage. I think the Falcons can get this done, -3. I don't know, what the story is going to be, whether it's going to be high scoring, low scoring, but I got the Falcons at home. I feel like I was taking all road teams last week. Luckily it worked out, but I feel like the home teams are going to strike back this week. So I got the Falcons -3. Michael, your take.
I want to hear from Cam because I'm in between.
I'm going the opposite way. Kind of prefaced it in the previous week segment, but seeing how the Seahawks are coming off back-to-back double-digit losses seems like kind of a get-right spot for them, especially against an NFC South team. I don't think Atlanta's really proven it to me. I mean, their best game has been against the Bucs, even though I mentioned I like that Bucs team. That was also a home game. I don't know. I think Seahawks have more to lose in this game than the Falcons. I think Seahawks kind of bounce back, especially with the +3. I'll take the points with the Seahawks.
Yeah, I was thinking along the same lines. They started 3-0, 3-3 now.
Kind of due, yeah.
They're due. Yeah, I got the Seahawks also.
Okay, comment from the crowd. JSN TD. I could see it. The over is pretty hot. Over is 51.
Dude, don't bet on any Ohio State receivers, please. Just there's no point. Like they're probably
it's only wide receiver.
It's only wide receiver you.
Nah. That's LSU, brother.
Moving forward, Bengals at Browns. Browns +6 at home. Michael, we'll circle back to you. Take us home here. What do you got?
I'm taking the Bengals. Browns trade away Amari Cooper. Good move for the Bills. I think the Browns need to do it. They're not going anywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if within the next 2, maybe 3 weeks, Deshaun's on the bench with a fake injury or something like that. But the Bengals, what gives me worry is they're not like a big win by a lot of points team. They play a lot of close games, even if they're high scoring usually. Don't think the Browns will score a lot of points, so that's what gives me faith in the Bengals. I'm taking them -6.
Yeah,
Cam?
This is one of the more sketchier picks that I had. Divisional matchup, even though it is the Browns. I think a divisional game always kind of shortens the spread a little bit, but kind of to Mikey's testament, I'm going the Bengals -6. I just think that Joe Burrow and this offense is starting to figure it out, and they're going to click, and they're going to score a lot of points, and I just don't think the Browns can keep up. So I'm going with the Bengals -6.
I'm on that as well. Bengals -6.
Have we agreed on every game?
No, not Seahawks Falcons.
Oh, so that was the only one? Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we've been matching them pretty closely.
We're 4 for 5.
Bengals, don't love it, but I don't like the Browns at all either. I don't want to touch them with anything. So I think last week you already got your little cover game against the Eagles who play everyone close. Bengals, I think the urgency is going to be there. They need to win every game. I think they continued that winning streak from last week against the Giants. They beat the Giants by 10 points. Granted, that game what it was. I think that could be something similar even in this game. We should mention Nick Chubb is returned to come back. That's going to be a lot of pause in this game. but I'm sure they're not going to just run him like a million times. I'm sure he's going to be on a snap count or whatever, so that doesn't scare me too much. The Bengals defense is awful, but at some point you're going to need to pass the ball, which, they did a number on the Giants. I don't think the Browns offense is better than the Giants. So I like the Bengals to cover the spread here on the road. More comments coming in from the crowd. New England plus 5.5, Miami plus 3.5, Green Bay minus 2.5, parlay of the week. We'll revisit that after we get to all of our picks. Yo, name one NFL player from UNC Charlotte.
I'm not a UNC Charlotte fan, so
Okay,
I'd rather have 0 NFL players than just notorious chokers in the NFL other than CJ Stroud, but that's just me.
Deshaun Watson breakout game incoming. I think it's a little bit too late for that, and that was already in like 2017. So
yeah, agreed.
Moving on,
terrible comment from whoever that was from.
The Houston Texans heading to Green Bay. Green Bay minus 3 at home. I'll start us off here. I think noticing trends I've noticed, the Texans spread have seemed to tell a little bit of a story. I like the Packers minus 3. I think Vegas giving the Packers 3 points is telling us that the Packers are a slightly more talented team, or just the home advantage is 3 points, whatever it is. I will take the Packers minus 3. Texans, I don't know. I guess they're a Super Bowl contender, but I'm not ready to put them in that bracket. It's supposed to be a sophomore slump, but I don't know. I feel like there is a rough patch coming for the Texans. What do they have? 1 loss. I think more losses are on the way. Packers have looked really good since Love has come back. Got a get-right game last week against the Cardinals. I think they'll be humming. Christian Watson back, everyone back. So I like the Packers minus 3. Cam, you're nodding your head. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'm the same testament, especially with Nico out. Kind of curious to see what Diggs does. I have a little bit of a hedge bet in my Focus 5 that I'll get to later, but I'm very curious to see what this Texans team does without their leading receiver. So I'm definitely taking the Pack minus 3 at home.
I am not with you. I'm taking the Texans.
Shitty.
We gotta be separate sometimes.
Joe
Mixon's coming back. I'm pretty sure they played last week without Nico too.
Yeah, they did.
And they were fine. I have a little Tank Dell something in my Focus 5.
I got a little Dell action in mind.
I think this is definitely gonna be a high scoring game. I think it's 47.5, which is not like crazy high, but I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. Both teams are fine with a loss. I guess it's worse for the Packers to have a loss because their division's nasty for some reason.
Some reason. Come on.
But the Texans, I'm taking the Texans plus 3.
Interesting. More comments coming in. It was sarcasm about the Watson breakout game. Cam insulting viewers. Crazy. Allie agrees with Michael.
Thank you.
I didn't know Jesse Owens was a choker, but all right. What is that even in reference to? I don't know.
Ohio State.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know who fucking Jesse Owens is. So next game,
Dolphins at Colts. Cam, we'll start with you on this one. Colts minus 3 at home. Dolphins coming off a bye week. Colts close win over the Titans last week. Do we know who's on the bump for the Colts? Is it Flacco? Is it Richardson?
I think it's still up in the air.
I think it's AR.
I mean, I don't know. Just the fact that there is a kind of a controversy there doesn't make me love the Colts, even though I thought it was an absolute lock as the Titans. I think this Miami team starts to figure it out coming off of a bye. I think Tyreek has a little bit of a breakout game for himself this year, seeing how he hasn't really done anything. I think they try and get him more involved, especially in the running game, just little jet sweeps, get him in the backfield every once in a while, a lot of motion. Him and Waddle, I think, maybe each score one. I don't know. I just think this Miami team is going to do something to make the AFC East even more questionable with the Bills and the Jets and then the Pats with Drake May now. Not that they're necessarily contention for the divisional win, but I don't know. I'm kind of leaning Miami on this. I'm not loving the 3.5. That's what I have. You have it at 3? Okay. Even so, I think it might be a push. I don't like Indy anything over 3, so I'm going to go with Miami plus 3.
Can you stop saying that Tyreek and Waddle are going to score in the same game when their quarterback has thrown maybe one touchdown? Okay, but stop saying it. That's not going to happen.
I'm just intriguing value. If any of our listeners like value picks, I mean, that's what you're going to get for my Focus 5.
Yeah, they're definitely not just going to run the ball a million times with A-Chain or Mostert or that rookie Jalen Wright kid.
Maybe they don't. We don't know.
Okay, I'll give my pick. I'm somewhat of a Colts whisperer. They're my favorite team to bet on.
All right.
This line came down from 3.5 when I wrote out the spreads this morning to 3. So I like the 3, but that gives me a little pause why people are betting on the Dolphins. If it's a Richardson game, it's Richardson versus Tyler Huntley. I think Richardson's a better running back than Tyler Huntley. If it's a Flacco game, don't even get me started about the passing. I got Flacco easily winning this game. This is in Indy. Indies look good. They got to, the AFC is a little bit crazy. They got to keep winning to stay up the pace. Yes, Dolphins coming off a bye, but I just don't trust what they've been doing. Sketchy win over the Patriots and that loss to the Titans. So I like the Colts -3. Michael, break the tie.
I'm with you, Deb. I don't see the Dolphins winning any other games without Tua as their quarterback. In Indianapolis, it's big. Their home crowds usually getting the people going. I would, if it was a Joe Flacco game, and I would take like 6.5 points. If it's Anthony Richardson, I'll be a little bit frightened, but I don't like the Dolphins at all. The Colts have like sneaky good weapons. Right. They do.
Tyreek Hill's breakout game was in 2017.
That's a throwback to when you said Deshaun's.
Yeah,
I also said the season, but it's all right. That's why you're a viewer and not on the pod.
I'm gonna push back on the weapons thing. Michael Pittman's one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL. Alec Pierce has looked really good.
I know. I said they do have good weapons.
I'm pushing back on Cam's dismissing that comment.
Yeah.
Mo Alley Cox, former VCU Ram basketball player. Okay. Alec Pierce has looked really good.
Donnie Mitchell.
JT's should be coming back this week. Just saying. Comment, damn. Next game, Lions, Vikings. This is our viewer mentioned before, a very sketchy spread.
Dropped down to 1.
1.5 now. This indicates the public's betting on the Lions. It was 2.5 earlier. Michael, your take. Are you with the public? Are you fading them and going with the Darn Chies?
Darn Chies is taking his first loss of the year. I like the Lions a lot. They're like one of my favorite teams to watch. Outside of it's just not true. They are one of my favorite teams to watch. And 2 points. It is in Minneapolis, which is a little bit scary, but the Lions are from up there too. So they'll have a bunch of fans in that building, hopefully. Coming off a bye is a little bit weird. I think the bye teams last week did not play that well, so that is good for me, I guess. I'm taking the Lions.
Yeah, I'm going the same side. It's kind of weird to view the bye week, honestly. I know I mentioned it as a pro for the Dolphins, but at the same time, as Mikey mentioned, a lot of teams can come off sluggish. Taking the bye into, not in existence in this, I'm going to go with the Lions. Kind of reiterating what Mike said, they're just one of the more entertaining teams to watch. It's kind of tough not to root for them, especially with Dan Campbell. I definitely like the dual threat running back with Gibbs and Montgomery, as I've placed almost every single week a money line parlay with them both to score. But I just think that I think Sam Darnold's kind of due for a loss. I think this is more who is going to establish themselves within that NFC North. And I think that the Lions are just the better team overall. So I'm going to take the Lions plus 1.5.
I agree. I think this is Vegas trying to do their best to respect the Lions. The Sharps jumped on it. The Lions already moving down to the Lions. Wouldn't be surprised if by we get to Sunday that the Lions will be favored in this game or basically pick them. I'm taking the Lions. I think they're a better overall team. Yes, the Vikings defense is crazy, but if it's a pick 'em, that Lions defense isn't bad either. So I think they can expose them in a couple of different ways, get more. Overall, I just trust Jared Goff a little bit more than I trust Sam Darnold at this point. I think they have a better running game as well. I'm not sure if Aaron Jones is playing. I know they traded for Cam Akers, a new backup, but I just trust the Lions more. I think the Lions are looking like a really good Super Bowl team at this point. It's hard to pick against them, even without Hutchinson. I don't think that'll make that much of an impact. The Brian Flores defense, we'll see what it's really made of this week. Moving on to our next game, the Eagles head to New York to face the Giants. Giants +3. I'll start this one off. I would expect this spread to be a little bit higher for the Eagles, probably like -4.5, -5, something like that. It's down to 3. Vegas knows that the Eagles play everyone close. Giants coming off was their loss at home or away? Or were they in Cincinnati last week?
They're at home.
They're at home, so another home game for the Giants. Talking it through now, I probably realize I should take the Giants, but I'm going to take the Eagles. Just a better team. Saquon revenge game. Oh, wait, he's going to get booed, man. Oof. That's going to be a tough homecoming for Saquon. I didn't even realize that when I was thinking about this game. But I bet he'll score a touchdown then. That's a pretty easy lock, although he'll probably be like -175, as he is usually. But I like the Eagles to cover this. It will be a grimy, close game, probably an under game. I think it'll be close, but I like the Eagles to cover the 3. Cam?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, honestly. As I was talking in the rationale in my head when I was picking this game, just kind of everything was leaning towards the Giants being at home back-to-back weeks, divisional game. It's just tough against, there's just such a gap, I think, in talent that the Eagles can't cover 3. So I'm going to go with them -3. I think that Saquon touchdown, it's going to be prevalent in my focus 5, but like you said, the odds on that aren't that great. So we obviously got a parlay for those that are looking for value, but kind of leaning with Dub here. I think the Eagles pull it out -3.
I am not with you. Taking the Giants. At home, doesn't really matter, though, because it's Jet Life Stadium. Anyway, the league neighbors coming back this week, which I think is big. The
True.
Eagles secondary is not very good.
Singletary, too.
Singletary should be back as well. I don't know if that's like 100%, though. Yeah, I've never been one to bet for the Eagles, and I'm not going to start now because they play bad teams. They play down to their opponents, and they play up to their opponents as well. And Giants, I don't think, are a very good football team, but that just means that the Eagles will play a terrible game. And I honestly it's not part of any of my Focus 5, but if you wanted to make some money, take the Giants to win.
Interesting. Okay. All right, comments from the Peanut Gallery.
Allie's going to hate that.
No Hutch confirmed. Fuck the bum-ass Eagles. Dog shit Sirianni is a toolbox.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Moving on to LA. Rams hosting the Raiders, -6.5. We'll kick it back to you, Michael. Your takes on this one. One of the bigger spreads on the board, 6.5.
Depending, Cooper Kupp is supposed to be back. I think it's like 50-50 right now. Whether or not he's back, I am going to take the Rams. If he wasn't back, I don't know if I would take the Rams to cover 6.5. Yeah, the Raiders, Antonio Pierce was like, we'll be fine without Devontae, but they're not going to be fine without Devontae. He's easily their best player. Maybe not. Max Crosby's a dog, but definitely on offense. Yeah, I think the Rams win this game, get on track, get going towards that Super Bowl push for Deb.
Playoffs. All we need is playoffs.
This was one of the tougher games for me to pick. I think that either you get a lot of the Vegas fans traveling over to Los Angeles, or you get a lot of those Oakland fans who are not too far away. Get a lot of people in the building, but at the same time, I just, like I said in the previous segment, I just can't see this Raiders team doing anything moving forward. So I'm going to go with the Rams -6.5. Just don't see this Raiders team having enough to compete, and maybe they score a garbage time field goal or touchdown to make it within that 6.5. But I don't know. I'm going to put my faith in Matthew Stafford over Aiden O'Connell.
I'm taking the Raiders +6.5. I don't love it, but I think Devontae's out of the locker room. That is going to free up some of the drama. Usually when something like that happens, the teams play better. Granted, there's not a lot of talent on this roster right now, but you have Brock Bowers, you have Trey Tucker, you have Jacoby Myers. Like things can start to formulate themselves with O'Connell now under the helm. Rams don't really put people away. As mentioned before, they basically have a home disadvantage. So I think this will be a close Rams win, like Rams win by 4, win by a field goal. The Raiders are that type of team in the 4 o'clock window. They just keep a close game or keep a game close. I hope this game is at 4 o'clock. I believe it is, but
Yeah,
yeah, I think Raiders can cover that 6.5. If it gets to 7, that's a slam, but it might still stay at 6.5, and it might be a Commander situation from last week, but I don't know. I like the Raiders to cover the spread coming off their trauma of trading Devontae Adams. And finally, as soon as they might outright win this game, be like, he's gone now, that type of shit. But I hope the Rams win because my future bet we need to start putting in some work. Okay, next game. Hometown for Cam, the Panthers head to Washington. Commanders -8. I'll start it off here. My pick's pretty ugly. I'm taking the Panthers +8. The Commanders haven't shown me that they're a team that's worthy of being a -8 favorite. Yes, they're one of the better teams in the NFL so far, but 8 points is a lot. Red Rocket we saw last week could compete a little bit. I think this could be a letdown spot for the Commanders. Tough game with the Ravens last week. They kind of are overlooking the Panthers maybe. I don't know. I think the Red Rocket can keep it close in DC. I don't know if Brian Robinson's playing, but this could be a high-scoring game. That Commanders defense still isn't very impressive to me, so I like the Panthers to cover the 8. It's just too big of a spread for me to be confident in the Commanders to cover that.
I'm taking the Commanders all the way. It's the league's best offense against the league's worst defense in the Panthers, and I think that's easy money.
Yeah, I mean, you could have set this at 10, honestly. I don't understand why you would even consider taking the Panthers. They haven't really shown me anything to do so. I get they have one win and
they're not on my ban list.
They're Red Rockets' first game starting. They end up winning, but other than that, I mean, I don't know how you could bet on this team. I think the Skins have definitely proven themselves to be a much better team, not just like out of the bottom of the league, but like trending towards like that, not upper echelon, but like right below that, like that second to third tier team when the Panthers are still trying to fight out of the arguably the number 1 draft pick. I definitely have faith in Jaden Daniels against Andy Dalton. I just think it's more explosive and they have a lot more opportunity to score points. So I'm going to take the Commanders -8. Sorry, Skins. Sorry, chat. Skins -8.
Do the Panthers have their first round pick, or is it still the Bears?
I think this year they get it back. Yeah.
Fun fact: Panthers opened +3 and are now up to +8, and 85% of the money's on the Commanders. So might be a little Vegas stream spot. Moving forward to the next game of the week, Chiefs at 49ers, essentially a pick 'em. I caught it at 49ers -1. Did you guys see similar spreads for this?
Yeah, I got 1.5. Yeah,
for the 49ers.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll say -1 for the sake of the channel, as that's what I last recorded. Cam, we'll start with you. You're taking this one.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I mean, kind of a testimonial to the Dubcast, but I don't think we like betting against the Chiefs. This 49ers team hasn't proven enough to me to be able to beat them, even though it's a home game for them. -1, I would have taken it. If it's a pick 'em, give me the Chiefs and Patty. Kind of going into, especially one of my folks 5 that didn't hit last week. I think it's kind of due this week, but I like Kelsey as well. But yeah, I like this Chiefs team. They just seem, even though it might be a sigh of relief whenever they win, I think they also kind of very different from the Eagles, but they play to their competition a lot, where whenever they face a big game, they step up. And if they play shitty opponents, they kind of know that they're going to come out with the win. But with that said, I'm just going to go with the Chiefs +1.
Michael?
Yep. Same thing. Bet against the Chiefs last week, and it didn't turn out well. So we're going to stay with the Chiefs this week.
I concur. Never bet against the Chiefs. Pick them. I don't like that the 49ers are -1, but I just don't think they have the firepower, especially they've looked especially weak early in the season. Typically, they're kind of weak early in the season, and also, especially this year, they've lost a couple of games. Granted, if they lose this game, they'll be 3-4, but the Chiefs just look like a wagon. Eventually, the Chiefs will lose a game or two, but I just am not confident enough to say that this is going to be the game. The Chiefs will probably win the Super Bowl. So whenever it happens, it happens. It's just you're going to bet the Chiefs every time, and then when they don't cover, it is what it is. But they're, in my opinion, the best team in the league by far. So don't love the 49ers here. They are at home, but I will take the Chiefs -1. Last 3 games, Sunday Night Football, Jets in primetime once again, heading to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh +2, starting Russell Wilson. Jets just acquired Davante Adams. This was a weird one. I think the spread might have been flipped yesterday, but it's flipped now to the Jets once the news of Russ starting came out. So I'll start it off. I'm taking the Jets -2. I'm following the money. I'm following the trail. This Jets thing keeps blowing back in my face, but they keep, it's the spreads are just too interesting for me. I don't know. I can't get them out of my head. I just trust them too much. I don't know why. They've been dog shit. And this will be my breaking point. If they lose this game, I think the season's over. I think that's in the thought in a lot of fans' heads. So I like the Jets to cover this -2. It's basically a pick 'em, pick your squad. I'm not sure what this offense is going to look like with Russ. I think Fields has proven himself to be better than Russ. So we'll see what this offense provides. But I like the Jets in a kind of a get-back spot. Rodgers, Adams, all brick. Big 3.
I'm with you. It's a must-win for the Jets. Their offense looked good last week. It should look better with Davante. It'll open Garrett up a lot better. Garrett's still going to have the targets, I think. The targets that Davante is going to take are Allen Lazard's targets, and throwing it to Allen Lazard and throwing it to Davante is much different. So I think the offense will be a lot better. I think that Russell Wilson starting is a blessing for the Jets. Beat him last year when he was in Denver, and I don't think he's a good quarterback anymore. Maybe they'll get like a boost because it's his first week playing, but I don't really see that happening. It's Jets -2.5 or 2.
I'm going the other way. Didn't love the fact that I heard that Russell Wilson's starting, but I definitely think that Justin Fields does see a lot of the playing field, maybe even the majority. I just don't see them. I also don't really know how much Davante's going to play coming off of, 5 days of knowing the playbook, if that.
He knows the playbook. It's Aaron
Smart. Come on.
All right. Well, I don't know. I just don't have a lot of faith in him jumping into the offense to make the impact that a lot of people think he's going to make. Same thing with Amari Cooper on the Bills. I just don't see that happening right away. I think it's going to take time. I think the Steelers at home, I like the home dog. And the Steelers seems kind of gritty. I like their defense, and I just don't really know what Aaron Rodgers and that Jets offense can really do against one of the better defenses in the league. So I'm going to go with the home dog at +2 with the Steelers.
The only thing that scares me is the Steelers' defensive line. Jets brought in Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses, and Tyron Smith has let up 6 sacks already in 5 games or something like that. He's not looked good at all. Might see a little of their first-round pick, Olu Fashanu, and 6 offensive lineman sets or something like that, just to keep the pass rush away from Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, now last 2 games, another stupid-ass, dumbass doubleheader on Monday night. One of these games starting at 9 p.m. Spare me, please. But first game should be a good one. Ravens head to Tampa, +3.5. Tampa is at home. Michael, will kick back to you. What is your take on this one?
I don't like this one. I think the Ravens are a really good football team. They're probably top 2 in the AFC. Maybe not fully on the same level as the Chiefs, but they're definitely up there. But the Bucs coming off a game where they scored 51 points against a lesser opponent than the Ravens, obviously, and the Saints. But I'm going to take the Bucs. I just like their grit, their team, their 2 wide receiver, 2-headed monster. The Ravens corners are not the best in coverage. I think they're just like they play really good overall team defense. So I'm thinking a little Chris Godwin game here to give the Bucs a victory.
Interesting.
Yep, I like the Bucs too, plus 3.5. I feel like it's kind of a disrespectful line, giving them the 3.5 hook at home. Obviously, last week they had a big win over the Saints, but I don't think they're going to overlook the Ravens. I think this will be a very close game. Could see the Ravens winning on like a Justin Tucker game-winning field goal, but the 3.5, I like the Bucs to cover that back end spread. Bucs have looked solid in most of their games, besides that one Broncos game or whatever. I think it was the Broncos they lost to, but I think they're one of the top upper tier NFC teams. The Ravens are getting their shit together as well, but I just feel like the home thing here, I don't know. It's just a weird game to me. I don't like it a lot as well, but I'm gonna take the Bucs and the points at home. Cam?
Yeah, I think a lot of this entire slate is kind of a pick 'em. Very difficult to bet on, but I'm gonna go the opposite side. I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I just think that the Lamar factor is gonna take notice in this game if it hasn't already. I mean, that Baltimore Bengals game a couple weeks ago was electrifying. And I just don't see the Buccaneers having that same kind of, even though they do have a lot of weapons, I just can't see them competing with the Ravens and Lamar being able to create and score as many points as he basically wants to, especially if he doesn't turn the ball over. I do kind of like Dub's sentiment on they might win on a Justin Tucker game-winning field goal, which will fuck me on the hook. But I don't know. It's kind of difficult to bet against the Ravens at this point, so I'm going to take them on the road, 3.5.
Okay, wrapping up the week, we have the Chargers heading to Arizona. Arizona plus 2.5 at home. Cam, your pick is obvious here. So
Yeah, Chargers minus 2.5. I don't even know why this line is so short. I don't give a shit what time it is or if it's at home or away. This, especially if Harrison's out, like I don't know why you would bet on this Cardinals team, but I don't know. I've said my piece. I'm going with the Chargers minus 2.5.
I'm with you. Chargers minus 2.5. Seems like every game the Chargers is either -3 or -2.5 in their favor. I think Vegas likes them for a reason. I think they're going to be a playoff team. Harbaugh's proved to be a pretty good coach. I think they're going to have a major coaching advantage in this matchup. As you mentioned, if Harrison can't go, that's big for the Cardinals. Also think the Chargers defense is a lot better. I guess watch out for the road. It's starting at 9, like a weird time. I guess, but I guess they're both out there in the western side of the
West Coast
country. So I like the Chargers. Think they're a better team. Herbert's a better quarterback, better run game, better coaching. I just don't know why you pick the Cardinals. Besides that they're at home, but they just got destroyed. Well, they did just get destroyed at home, so maybe it's like a bounce back spot. I guess that's what Vegas is kind of looking at. But I'm gonna take the better team, the Chargers. Michael.
Yep, you both said it all. Nothing really to add. Chargers, they're just better.
All right, so there we go. Week 7 predictions in the books. Another great week of picking. Now on to our focus 5, our 5 favorite picks of the week, or 5 favorite money-making opportunities of the week, as some people look at it. So coming off of this last week, week 6, Michael, we'll start with you. Your focus 5 last week went 1-4, and on the year to date, you are 6-14. So you got to start winning these people either some high odds bets or get these numbers right.
No, we're going long parlays.
Oh boy! Finally, you hop on the wagon. I don't understand why it's taking you so long.
Hey, last week I was 1 for 4. This week I'm hoping for 2 and 3, make a little money. They're all going to be very long odds. All right, so we're going. They're not that long. Depends.
Are we recapping or are we not recapping?
No, we don't need to read. If they want to see what their picks were, they can go bet and watch the other live stream.
I mean,
right,
the only one I won was Texans Pats over, so that was good. All right, Panthers, Commanders, worst defense. So we're going against the best offense. We're going over 51.5, which is a big number, but I think that's easy. And Brian Robinson touchdown. If he plays, I don't know for sure if he's playing or not.
I think he's supposed to come back, but
if he's not, then Austin Eckler touchdown, easy.
It's not easy. He scammed me last week.
All right.
Wrong week. Picked the wrong week.
Well,
We're going over the pond to Pat's Jags, and we're gonna go under. I think this is like a horrible game, turnover game, slug it out game. For the third, we're going Texans Packers. We're hitting the over 47.5. Two very good offenses that play close games, and we're gonna hit a little Tank Dell touchdown without Nico. They do have some other weapons. Maybe we'd get a Joe Mixon touchdown in there if you wanted, but we're going to stick with Tank Dell. We're going to get a little for the fourth. We're going to have a rookie receiver touchdown parlay. We're going to go Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr.
That's fair.
I love
And then for the fifth one, we're going to go Monday Night Football, Derrick Henry anytime, which is just at this point.
It's like minus probably 200, but
yeah. And Chris Godwin anytime touchdown.
Ooh.
I like it.
All right.
Okay. Once again, another focused 5 in the books. Moving on to Cam. You went 2 and 3 last week, so probably made viewers money with your odds. You mentioned being up over the weekend, so good job. 7 and 13 on the year. Take us away with your focused 5.
Yeah, no, definitely take my focus 5 with a grain of salt. It's definitely more value pick, as Dubs kind of alluded to. But we're going to start off with the same game parlay for number 1. I like the Chiefs, as I mentioned earlier. And if the Chiefs win, I think Kelsey's kind of due for a touchdown. I don't think he scored in 4 consecutive weeks. It just kind of seems like big spot, big-time players show up in big-time moments and big-time games. So give me a Kansas City money line with the Kelsey touchdown. That's going to be number 1. Number 2, we're going to do the Bills money line. And with that, I think if Cook plays, I don't know his health status, knowing he was out last week. I'm going to go Cook touchdown. But if he's not, even better for Allen touchdown. I'll run it back again. I just think that, as I mentioned, once you get inside the 5, it's kind of difficult to hand it off to someone reliable other than just keeping it with your quarterback who's athletic enough to get through that offensive line. So kind of a grain of salt, Bills money line, and then whoever's playing Cook or Allen for a touchdown. And then third parlay is going to be a money line parlay. These are the teams I'm the most confident in going into the week. So I'm going to go Bills money line, Skins money line, Steelers money line, Chargers money line. So a nice little 4-legger there for you.
That's a guaranteed loser.
Gold.
All right. What do you mean? I'm pretty sure we were pretty close to almost picking each team on the spread in all those games. But all right, if you don't want to create value, don't. Oh, okay. Whatever. I'm gonna go to a running back parlay. I think Gibbs not scoring last week means he's kind of due. So I'm gonna start with the Gibbs touchdown for the running back parlay with Jacobs, who's also due, hasn't scored in 2 consecutive weeks, and then a Saquon touchdown, which we've already talked about. All 3 of us are in consensus that it's kind of a revenge game. Kind of need it, honestly, in that Giants stadium in MetLife, even though it might be called Jet Life, according to Mikey. 5th and final parlay, we'll do a wide receiver touchdown parlay. We're going to do Chase. And then hopping off Mikey, we're going to piggyback off the Tank Dell touchdown and the Justin Jefferson touchdown. I think that Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings games is going to be high scoring. And I just don't see it being high scoring and Jefferson not scoring a touchdown. So those are my final 5. Obviously, I don't expect the majority of those to win. But as I mentioned, there's a lot of value in each of those picks. So even if 1 or 2 out of the 3 lose, you're going to end up plus a significant amount of money. So,
okay. 2 notes. First of all, it's called the Focus 5, not the Final 5.
No, that's my final 5. These are my final 5 picks.
Do you guys know that Tank Dell scored last week?
He did not.
He did score the first touchdown of the game.
All right. Well, that's fair. Well, with Nico out, I also didn't get to mention that. But Nico out, I don't like Diggs, so I'm not betting on Diggs. So give me Tank Dell.
Good reason. Okay. Finally, last up, Focus 5 for me on the year. I'm 17, 11, and 1 push. Spiced it up a little bit this week, slightly.
Ooh.
Got a parlay at the end, but we'll get to that. First one, directly opposing one of Mikey's Focus 5. I got the Pats Jags over 42.5. I think that this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think the Jags have been out there for a while. The Pats defense looks like dog shit, if we're being frank. The Texans just put up 41. I think the Jags can put high 20s, low 30s. And I think Drake May will look good against this Jags defense, which has also been awful. Gave up 35 to the Bears, gave up a lot of points to the Colts. I just don't see this being a low-scoring game. I think there's going to be a lot of touchdowns. Hopefully, as long as Drake May doesn't turn the ball over. So I like that over. I like the Lions plus 1.5 on the road against the Vikings. I think the Vikings are due for a loss. Lions, I think, are the second best team in football right now. Granted the Hutchinson injury, but I don't think that's going to affect them too much. I like their defense as well, so I think they can go into Minnesota and win this game. I just don't see the Vikings still being undefeated after playing the Lions, so I like the Lions plus 1.5 or money line. And Chiefs. This feels like an obvious kind of trap set by Vegas for people to try and think that to take the 49ers -1 favorites or -1.5, whatever it is at this point. But that was the same exact spread for the Super Bowl. And what happened? I think the Chiefs are the best team in football. I think they're going to have a hiccup against a lesser team, not like a high profile game like the 49ers. I think this game they'll be prepared. Are the Chiefs coming off a bye as well? I don't remember them playing last week.
No, yeah, I think you're right. We didn't recap that, so no.
So Chiefs bye, coming off a bye against the 49ers. They've been preparing for this game for 2 weeks. Granted, the 49ers also had 10 days. This should be a good game, but ultimately I trust the Chiefs and Mahomes and Andy Reid a little bit more than I trust Shanahan and Purdy, so I'll take them basically straight up. Coming to Sunday Night Football, got a little underplay. It's a little gross, 38. I just, Devontae is coming into the game. I mentioned before, don't really know how much of the playbook he's going to know. Don't think he'll make that much of an impact, especially the first week being there. Although he did sleep in his car and just show up in the Pat McAfee show on Tuesday, seconds after they did the trade. But
he's been there all week.
Yeah, whatever. I don't see I just don't see this being a high scoring game, especially on the Steelers side. Even if I'm taking the Jets to win, I think it could be like a 21-10 win for the Jets. I just don't like the Steelers at all. Especially with Russ, they've been a low scoring offense. Jets defense is a little bit better than Raiders, much better hopefully this week. So I think things will start to figure themselves out with Ulbrich under. I'm taking 38, although it's a pretty low number. Last one, little parlay. We got started off with the Bengals money line. I think they're going to win ultimately, but I'm not confident to take their spread, so we'll throw them in here. Last two, kind of closer teams that I'm not sure if they can, cover the spread. So I'm going to take their money line, Falcons money line against the Seahawks at home. I think it's make or break for them. Not really, but I think they're going to win this game. And also the Colts at home versus Miami. So Bengals on the road, but they are 6.5 point favorites, and then two home teams, the Colts and the Falcons. So a little spicy parlay there. That'll end up what?
Nothing.
Bonus pick. I also like Amari Cooper to score a touchdown this week. I think it's going to be an entourage and barrage in Buffalo when they are going up $1 million on the Titans. I think they're going to try and get him, feeling good in the offense, get him a touchdown. So I like Amari Cooper to score if he plays. So that's a bonus pick, not part of anything. Just throwing it out there. Another week in the books, fellas. Good job. Thanks to all the viewers. We had a lot of people in the chat tonight. Some making the show worse, some making the show better. As always, I'll go to Cam with a college pick for Georgia, Texas, and Mikey. I know you have Georgia connections. If you want to make a pick for this game, I'll pull up the spread if you want.
Give me Georgia. I just don't think Quinn Ewers coming off his first week off of an injury can handle this Georgia defense. So I'm gonna go with Georgia money line. I haven't done enough research on the spread. I think it's at 3.
5
for Georgia. It's at 5 for Georgia.
Also, Quinn Ewers was back last week.
All right. Well, second week back, I just don't think that Texas is as good as Georgia overall. Hopping into the SEC is kind of even though it's at home for Texas, it's kind of everything's pointing towards Texas, with especially the fan base. I don't know. Just seems like everybody in college football wants Texas to win, and they don't want Georgia to maintain the powerhouse that they are. So I'm going to take Georgia, even though it's -5. I prefer the money line. That might be a little sprinkle of a parlay if you want the running back to score. But if you want the -5, go ahead. I might sprinkle a little bit on that, or you might wait for Texas to come out, take the ball, being dumb as fuck, and they score first, and then you live bet Georgia money line. But
yeah.
All right.
Pick.
You don't have a pick?
No.
All right. Well, you will use this
All right.
as a teaser. I will be doing my college football show, the shortest podcast that I do now, with my 5 takeaways and 5 picks for the weekend. Hopefully that'll drop Friday. So, any parting words for the people of the crowd?
Is in the
We still have
comment
people
section.
watching this?
There's one person who's been everyone kind of tuned out for like the last 30 minutes, but
Yeah, they didn't want to make money. It's all right.
yeah, it's fine.
What are you gonna do?
All right.
All right. Thanks to the host, Debbie, for having us back on.
Yeah,
It's been a nice little recap.
Sorry for the internet connection. Hopefully that'll be solved soon. But in the
Mikey
meantime,
did a great job hosting and partake, but
I'm gonna have to go back and watch what happened when I left. But
It got crazy for a second, and then we locked in.
we had the most viewers actually. So
that
maybe it
was, and
good.
then as soon as I left, everyone stopped watching.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna end this live stream here. Thank you so much for joining. We'll see you next week for Week 8 and the Week 7 recap.
Adios.